Good morning, people. Welcome back to my little farm kitchen today. I haven't been in here for a while because I've been so busy outside in the garden, but we have some friends coming over and I'm going to make some pikelets, which are an Aussie I guess it might have originated in England actually. I'm not too sure. They're kind of like a pancake, but they are smaller, a little bit more dense, and they are divine with jam and cream, some whipped cream. Now, I have made them on here before, quite a long time ago in a video. I think I did it when I was doing party food for one of the kids' birthdays. But today I'm going to make it with freshly milled flour, which I haven't done that before, but I am trying to use a lot more freshly milled flour just to add a lot more nutrition into what the children especially are eating. I milled some soft white wheat berries into a bowl. These are duck eggs that we got from our duckies. I'm doing a fairly big batch, so 3 eggs into the bowl to begin with, and I've milled the flour ready, just on as fine a grade as I can get it in my mill. I have a mock mill and it does do it fairly fine, so that works well. Then I added the flour, roughly 4 cups, I think, to begin with. The amount really doesn't matter. When I'm making pikelets, rather than go on measurements, I have the base ingredients and I'm looking for consistency, the sort of a thick consistency in the batter. But this is 4 cups to 3 eggs, or it might be 5. Then add the baking powder with a ratio of 1 teaspoon of baking powder per cup of flour. It is also true that when you're using soft white wheat, if you're sticking to a recipe, you need about 1.5 times more than you would with hard white wheat or spelt or any of the others, or if you're converting it from a whole-purpose flour or self-raising flour. So then I added a teaspoon of salt and put the whisk on. I add a little bit of milk, enough to get the batter going, and then I sort of just keep on adding as I need to, and as it gets, because it'll get really too thick. Oh, I also put a dollop of vinegar because you could also use buttermilk, which will have the same effect as the vinegar, and that is to just it makes the pikelets, a little bit more fluffy and adds to the texture. It was at this point that I remembered I usually put a spoon or 2 of organic cane sugar in to the recipe, and I had forgotten to do it, but that's fine. I just added it at this stage and let it continue to mix. Just adjusting, adding a little bit more milk. I don't want the batter super thick, but I don't want it runny either, because pikelets are smaller and denser than pancakes, and so you'd want something that's going to easily, when you pour it into the pan, it'll form a nice little round and not spread too thin too quickly. This is pretty typical of the way I cook. I realized I'd forgotten the bicarb soda, so I added a little bit of that in. Now, you don't want too much. You've already got a raising agent with the baking powder, but this really does add a little something to the recipe that helps with the rise and helps with, the final texture of the product. So then I put it in. It is important to preheat your cast iron pan and put a little dollop of butter. I put it on about medium because you don't want to burn them, and if you have it on high they will burn, but you also don't want it to take too long. You want it to sear up, create a nice little crust immediately when you pour it in. So about medium, but make sure it's well heated before you start. Then I just like to use a ladle or a large spoon, whatever you have on hand, to scoop out a good sized dollop onto the cast iron skillet. I guess they are about, 2.5 to 3 inches across, but really it's just up to your own preference, but pikelets typically are smaller than pancakes. Then it's just going about doing other things and waiting until there's a few little bubbles in the top of the pikelet, and that's when you know that it's time to come and turn them over.
You want them to have just a nice goldeny brown crust on them.
Get the food processor up for me. I have to whip some cream. It's under the kettle.
Right?
Yep.
And I'll get the I'll whip the cream with you.
This is me showing you the consistency of the batter that we're looking for, which is really kind of, I don't know, thick and gloopy. Now you can put anything on pikelets. Sometimes we put peanut butter, honey, Vegemite, jam, marmalade. Like, you can put anything you want. But the traditional way to serve Aussie pikelets is with fresh jam and cream, whipped cream. And we typically whip the cream with a little bit of vanilla essence and maple syrup, and it is just delicious. Today, when Ty was whipping the cream, he offered to whip it, and it was thickening up, but for some reason, and I'm still not really sure why, but the cream did not want to get super thick. And he even did 2 batches, and the first batch went from sort of runny to making butter without getting thick and whippy in the middle. Now, the only thing I can think of is perhaps when we separated the cream, we might have left too much milk in there. So that's the only solution I've come up with as to why that happened. But anyway, we got there in the end, but it still was not super thick. And you'll see that in the picture at the end. So we ended up transferring over to the food processor to see if that would help. It didn't make a big difference. We added in some maple syrup and vanilla essence. It still tasted amazing. It just didn't have that really thick, puffy whipped cream that we usually get. So yeah, I'm not sure what happened in the end, but it was still delicious on top of our pikelets. So we topped them with some raspberry jam, the whipped cream, and shared them with our friends.
Well, it is late afternoon, and well, really in the evening now, which is crazy because it's so daylight. But it doesn't matter in East Texas. The sun doesn't go down for a long time. And I've come down to milk, but I'm going to show you something, because my hubby, Mike, is bringing Matilda over, and he told me the other day, he said, hey, guess what I did when I went to milk? I'm like, what? So basically, he's gone across to get her, and I don't know if he did this because he couldn't find the halter or the lead rope, or if he just thought he would try. But he said the other day he came across and just didn't put the halter on her and let her follow him, and she just walked behind him and followed all the way over. Which, if that continues to work and we can make that habit, that will make things a lot easier, especially for the children.
Come on, baby. Come on, girl. Come on. Good girl. Come on. Come on. Good girl.
Aren't you a good girl, Tilda girl? Isn't that cool? I think that's really exciting if we can get her to just follow along. All right, to the business of milking. It's just glorious. All right, girl. All right, baby girl. Here you go. Take this off you. Thank you for the milk, sweet girl. Thank you for the milk, sweet girl. how beautiful. Look at this smoke up. I could just stay there and look at that. I could just stand there and look at it for hours. Well, until the sun went down, which is not going to be hours. But where are you off to? You're going to beat me back? She's off to the water trough, I think, and I'm just going to go turn the energizer on and go back and get the milk from the barn. What is it, Dal? You coming to say goodbye? I don't usually go this way. I usually head back through the house yard, but it's just really pretty down here and I wanted to walk this way. Look at that sky. Update for you. This is my handy little willow switch. I've just taken all the outer branches off it. It's really thin and light, but it is doing the trick. When she has one of those stubborn moments, I just give her a little tap on the flank, and I'm honestly hardly having to do it at all because she knows now, and that's all it took. It just took me saying, "No, sweetheart, I'm the top cow here. You will do as I bid you to do. We will not stand here in the middle of the paddock for 3 hours. We will go back to your paddock." So that is working. Okay, back at the barn. Now, we did have a spill today. I should have known, we were filling up the water bucket. And Mike said, "How full does this water bucket need to be?" And I said, "We don't need much. Like, I haven't lost a bucket of milk in ages. And it's really just to clean up when any drips. And if there's a big spill, I need more water, but we're good." Almost as soon as it came out of my mouth, I thought, you shouldn't have said that. Because sure enough, and I didn't even know how it happened. It happened so quickly. I didn't grab the bucket in time. She lifted her leg and put her foot down and tipped the bucket over. The milk went everywhere. So we have a nice little milk puddle that I will clean up. Famous last words, hey? Gotta be careful what you say. Really could have used a bit more water today. Okay, I have my milk. I'll take one last look at the beautiful sky. Oh, it's so beautiful. I tell you, whenever the world just doesn't seem quite right and the stress of life piles up upon you and you wonder what in the world you're going to do and you think, oh, this is just too stressful, take the time to sit somewhere beautiful and watch the sun go down. It's a reassurance that there is a natural order of things and the Lord is still on his throne. Okay, I am back in the kitchen and I'm just about to filter the milk. I was just walking in and I was thinking, you know the term, she kicked the bucket or he kicked the bucket. Like at what point did that come to mean she carked it or she keeled over, she died? You know, at what point did that come to mean death? Because to me, kicking the bucket means I lost all the milk. And I don't know, kicking a bucket. Other than milk being spilt, how did that come to mean death? Maybe we just needed the milk that badly that we couldn't afford for the milk to spill. I don't know. Do you have that term over here? Kicked the bucket? I guess maybe. It feels like that would be a fairly universal term, but I don't know, I could be wrong. Anyway, I am going to filter the milk and get it in the fridge.
Are you videoing?
Mm-hmm.
Hello, YouTube friends. Thanks for all your wonderful comments and likes. We really appreciate it. It's helping Chrissy build a really strong channel, so we don't take that for granted. We know that you take the time to watch it, and we want to take the time to say thank you. Bye.
Well, we definitely have less than usual after that spillage. See you, babe.
Bye.
We definitely have less than usual. So there's a half gallon, and usually I would get another quart at least, but there's just another dribble in the bottom of that bucket. So that's okay. The pups can have it. I will be seeing you tomorrow, friends. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for watching. Love chatting to you all in the comments, and I will see you tomorrow. Sunshine and raindrops.